Hey everyone! Today we're diving deep into the world of introverts. That's right, we're gonna talk about all those things that make introverts do a silent little dance of joy. In our heads, of course. If you're an introvert, you'll totally get these quirks. Like, you'll be nodding your head so hard, your brain will get a free workout. Prepare to be amazed. Or maybe just mildly intrigued. Okay, first up, let's talk about the glorious moment when plans get canceled. You know that feeling, right? It's like someone just handed you a golden ticket to a whole day of uninterrupted Netflix and chilling with yourself. No judgment here. Canceled plans are like mini vacations for introverts. We get to recharge our social batteries, which, let's be honest, drain faster than a phone on a social media spree. Now let's talk about the dreaded small talk, those conversations that feel like they last a lifetime, but you've only exchanged like 3 sentences. Yeah, those. For introverts, small talk is like running a marathon. Uphill. In the snow. With a backpack full of rocks. Okay, maybe that's a bit dramatic, but you get the point. It's exhausting. We'd rather have one deep, meaningful conversation than 100 shallow ones. But hey, it's not all bad being an introvert. We have our superpowers too, like, for instance, alone time? That's our jam. Give us a good book, a cozy blanket, a cup of coffee, and we are set. Alone time is where we recharge, find inspiration, and basically become the best versions of ourselves. It's like our own personal spa day, but instead of face masks, we have books, and instead of cucumber water, we have coffee. Phone calls? Now let's talk about phone calls, shall we? Or rather, let's not. Because, let's be real, introverts would rather walk on hot coals than answer an unexpected phone call. We're all about that text life, baby. Texting gives us time to craft the perfect response, avoid awkward silences, and not actually have to talk to anyone. It's a win-win. You know what else we love? Books. And I'm not talking about those self-help books that everyone pretends to read. I'm talking about those epic fantasy novels, those heart-wrenching love stories, those thrilling mysteries that transport you to another world. Books are our escape, our solace, our best friends. We could spend hours lost in a good book, and honestly, we probably have. Now let's talk about group projects. Those things that make most people excited? Yeah, those are our worst nightmare. Being surrounded by people, all that noise, all those expectations, it's enough to make us want to crawl under a table and hide. Group activities are like a social obstacle course for introverts, and by the end of it, we're usually exhausted and ready for a nap. But hey, at least there's the weekend, right? That glorious 2-day stretch of freedom where we can finally be ourselves, at home, in our pajamas, watching reruns of our favorite shows. A quiet weekend at home is an introvert's dream come true. We can finally recharge our social batteries, catch up on our reading, binge watch that show everyone's been talking about, and just generally exist in our own little world. How about deep conversations? If you really want to impress an introvert, skip the small talk and jump right into a deep, meaningful conversation. We're talking about those conversations that make you think, those conversations that challenge your beliefs, those conversations that stay with you long after they're over. This is much better than talking about the weather. Trust us. We know what the weather is. There's no need to point out the obvious. Of course, there are some social situations that even introverts can't avoid. Like, for instance, networking events. Just the thought of having to walk into a room full of strangers and trying to make small talk makes us break out in a cold sweat. It's like being thrown into the lion's den, except instead of lions it's awkward handshakes and forced smiles. Yeksh. Home sweet, wonderful home. At the end of the day, all an introvert really wants is to be at home, surrounded by the things they love. Home is our sanctuary, our safe space, our happy place. It's where we can be ourselves, without judgment, without pressure, without having to make small talk. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go put on my comfiest pajamas, make myself a cup of coffee, and curl up with a good book. Alright, introverts, it's time to unite. Quietly, of course. So, did you relate to any of these? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're an introvert who's secretly doing a happy dance right now because you realize you're not alone in this crazy world. Share this video with your fellow introverts and let's create a movement. A quiet, understated, perfectly lovely movement of introverts. Until next time, stay awesome.